I've never wanted someone else to decide what my life looks like. Not at 16, not now, not ever. And I know that sounds bold. I know some people hear that and think, this guy has no idea what he's talking about. Maybe they're right. But let me explain where I'm coming from. Because this isn't about hating work. I'm not lazy. I'm not looking for an easy way out. I can't picture myself sitting in a chair in someone else's building, working someone else's hours, building someone else's dream for the rest of my life. I can't do it. And the more I sit with that feeling, the more I believe I was never built for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying money doesn't matter. Money matters a lot. I grew up watching it matter every single day. And I'm not saying stability is a bad thing. A lot of good people work 9 to 5s, people I love, people I genuinely respect. But there's a difference between choosing something and feeling like you have no other option. Most people don't choose the 9 to 5. They just end up there. Life happens, bills happen, time passes, and one day you look up and you're in your 40s wondering where all the years went. I don't want to wonder. I want to know exactly where my years are going because I chose where they went. See, the 9 to 5 isn't just a job, it's a system. And that system wasn't built for you to get rich. It was built for you to be useful enough to stay, but not free enough to leave. Think about that for a second. You get paid just enough to cover your bills, just enough vacation to keep you from burning out, just enough comfort to stop you from taking a real risk, and nobody's doing it to you on purpose. That's just how it works. Work, get paid, spend, repeat. And the most dangerous part? It feels normal. It feels safe. But safe and free are not the same thing. I need freedom more than I need safety. I need to feel like my time belongs to me. I need to know that if I put in more, I get more back, not just more for someone else at the top. I'm being honest with you. I've seen what happens when your whole life depends on one job. I've seen people wake up before sunrise, come home after dark, eat whatever's quick, sleep, and do it all over again, day after day, week after week. And what's there to show for it? Tired eyes, a small savings account, and a quiet prayer that nothing goes wrong. Because if it does, there's no backup. That scared me, not in a way that made me feel sorry, in a way that woke something up inside me. I thought, I can't let that be my story, because I've been broke too. I know what it feels like to check your balance before buying something small. I know what it's like to say no to things, not because you don't want them, but because the numbers just don't stretch that far. And people say, just get a job. It gets better. Better by how much? A few extra $100 a month? While the person above you is driving a car that costs more than your whole year's salary. Something about that picture doesn't add up. Here's where things started shifting for me. I stopped seeing successful people as lucky. I started seeing them as students. Not school students, life students. People who learned things most people never bother to look into. How money actually moves. How value works. How to build something that keeps going even when you're not watching it. And I realized the gap between someone who works for money and someone who makes money work for them isn't about talent. It's about how you see things, how you see time, how you see risk, how you see failure. Most people are taught that failure is the end, so they never try anything that could actually fail, which means they never try anything real. But every person I look at and think, I want that, they failed. More than once. Some of them lost everything and had to start from scratch, and they don't talk about those moments like tragedies. They talk about them like they needed to happen. That's the shift. Not, how do I avoid the hard parts, but how do I use them? When I think about the life I want, it's not complicated. I want to wake up without an alarm. Not because I'm being lazy, but because I slept when I was tired and woke up when I was ready. I want to work from wherever makes sense that day. A coffee shop, my living room, another country. It doesn't matter, as long as the work gets done. I want to work hard. Genuinely hard, but on things I actually care about, on things I built myself. I want to look at what's in my account and know it reflects the value I put out into the world, not just the hours I clocked in at someone else's desk. And I want to be present. When I'm with people I love, I don't want to be mentally somewhere else, counting down to Friday, dreading Monday morning, too drained to actually be there. I'm not chasing a yacht or some fantasy lifestyle. That's not it. What I want is purpose. What I want is to be building something, to wake up knowing what I'm working toward and why it matters. That's the whole thing. And yeah, people tell me I'm young. They tell me I'll understand when I'm older. They tell me the real world doesn't work the way I think it does. But I've also seen real people, not celebrities, not geniuses, just regular people who decided they weren't going to follow the default and built something real out of that decision. The proof is there. Here's what I want to leave you with. The 9 to 5 isn't the enemy. Staying in something that slowly makes you smaller, that's the problem. Letting go of what you actually want because someone called it unrealistic, that's the problem. Waiting for permission to build a life you're proud of, that's what you need to watch out for. Nobody's coming to hand you freedom. Nobody's going to tap you on the shoulder one day and say, okay, you've worked long enough. Now go live. You have to decide that yourself. And yeah, deciding is scary. Starting is scary. Failing is scary. But you know what scares me more? Getting to the end of my life and realizing I spent most of it building something for someone else, while my own thing just sat there waiting for a day that never came. I don't want that. I don't want safe if safe means stuck. I don't want comfortable if comfortable means small. I want a life I actually chose. And if that means taking risks right now, if that means working harder with no guaranteed outcome, I can live with that because at least it's mine. At least when I look back, I'll know I showed up for myself. And honestly, that means more to me than any salary ever will. If this hits something in you, subscribe, drop a comment. Tell me where you're at right now. We're building something here, and I want you in it. NextGen Entrepreneurs. Let's go.